Welcome to Natural Aesthetics. These are highlights from day one of week 3 of my full body natural bodybuilding routine. Also included a couple of clips from session 2 completed today. So in this video I really wanted to talk about the differences in techniques I've used as a natural bodybuilder during my bulk phases. Now the idea of the bulk essentially is to overeat, to consume more calories than you need, and hopefully this shows in an improvement in strength and muscle size. A lot of exercises are very weight dependent, so you'll be able to use more weight on the bar if you increase your body weight, and perhaps this will carry over to more potential to build muscle mass. This is especially evident on compound movements that rely on a lot of muscle mass. Now it's not imperative that you have to go through these bulking and cutting phases, as someone that wants to gain more muscle mass or strength as a natural. You don't have to, especially during the beginner and intermediate phases. I'd say it's more worthwhile focusing on just training hard, being very consistent and training intelligently. Now myself, when I first started training, I had very little to no understanding of nutrition. I didn't understand the concept of bulking or cutting, and I'd say on average that I was under eating for the first 3 to 5 years of my training. I saw great progress simply because I trained very, very hard, very consistently. I wasn't even training intelligently. I was just training like a maniac. Never missed a session. I was always very, very lean, and I do think people put too much emphasis on food over training. I will say this now, that training is infinitely more important than nutrition, especially during your early stages of training. I'm not saying that it's not important, but I'm saying that training intensely, smartly and consistently is more important than having a perfect nutrition plan. Of course, if you combine solid nutrition with solid training, then you're going to see even better results. In order of effectiveness, I'll say that we start with poor training, good nutrition, and then it's going to be good training, poor nutrition, and then obviously at the top, good nutrition, good training. It's often very easy to say to the youngster that's struggling to put on muscle mass, eat more food. But in reality, if you look at his training, he's often missing sessions, and he doesn't understand the importance or concept of intensity. His sessions aren't hard enough, and he's not lifting enough weight. That has to be addressed first before diet, I believe. Nutrition, however, does become more important as you train for longer periods of time. As you move towards the advanced levels, you've been training for a few years now, you've been training effectively for a few years, then the usefulness of the bulk increases. I was at my strongest between late 2013, early 2014, after my first bodybuilding show, and late 2014, early 2015, after I'd recovered from some nerve inflammation. During both of these periods, I was bulking very heavily, consistently tracking calories on MyFitnessPal, and I was training full body or upper-lower split. So I was probably consuming 3,500 to 4,500 calories every day. I think my fat grams were 100 to 180 per day, my carbs were well over 400. I became very strong quite quickly, and I was improving my strength week by week, and I thought the more that I would eat, the quicker I would become stronger. It becomes then really a question of whether you can handle that extra body fat, because if you bulk like that as a natural bodybuilder, you're going to put on fat. It's as simple as that if you eat that much food. Don't be fooled by these guys on anabolic steroids who gain large amounts of muscle mass, maybe 2.5 to 10 kilos of muscle mass in 9 months during their off season, while staying relatively lean. It's not going to happen as a natural. If you want to put that kind of weight on, you have to overeat massively, and you have to, accept that you're going to put on body fat. In 2015, last year, so I was in between contests, I can't really call it a bulk because I wasn't tracking calories and I wasn't really overeating as such. I was just eating what I wanted. I found that my strength results were quite lackluster in comparison to when I've been tracking calories before and overeating massively. However, my training styles were different between those two periods of time. Last year I was trying some new stuff out. I was doing some bodybuilding splits, training with, on average, a slightly higher rep range. So it's hard to compare the two. In 2014, at one point I was up to 100 kilos, and although I was very happy with my strength increases, realistically I was just getting fatter and fatter. Now, if you can handle that, and if you don't mind that, you've got no inclination to become lean, then by all means go for it, because it's the best way of gaining muscle mass and strength as a natural. However, if you do want to become lean or at some point compete, then I'd think twice before committing to that kind of bulk. For intermediate plus or advanced lifters, guys that have been training for a few years, I would recommend bulking. However, I would recommend conservative bulking, where you are tracking calories, but you're being very, very conservative with your macros, maybe a little bit higher than maintenance. You probably don't need anywhere near as much food as you think you do to see solid returns. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more. Check out all my social media. The links are in the description box below. Stay strong.